Alright, hello Minecraft Infitech fans. Got a fun one here. So I've got this thing built. Large steam turbine. I built a cobalt rotor for it. And I also put a spreadsheet together looking at the... I'm going to tell you how to do this real quick. Spreadsheet. Now you can't see the spreadsheet because it's only recording the game. So just bear with me here while I talk. The spreadsheet, you got two items. You got an optimal flow rate and an efficiency that shows up on the rotor. And this is with steam. Well, I'm not talking about gas or plasma. I haven't even dug into those yet because I can't build that crap yet. So, optimal flow rate for the cobalt small turbine is 8,000. Efficiency is 80. Now, how much am I going to get out of that? Well, the first thing you got to do is calculate the nominal output. That's the output if you ignore efficiency. Now to do that, first you have to take your optimal flow rate and divide it by 20. You got to divide that by 20 so that you got to put that in parentheses. So if you're using a spreadsheet and your optimal flow rate's in cell B2, B2 divided by 20 in parentheses, and then divide all that by 2. What you're doing there is you're dividing by 20 to turn that into ticks, because you're wanting to know how much EU you're getting per tick, not how much EU per second. So that's why. So because EU over T is important, because if it's too high, you're going to blow something up, and if it's too low, you're going to be kind of cheating yourself by wasting materials building something that's. You're going to do what I did with this cobalt turbine. you're gonna screw yourself over. Anyway. Let's see. So anyway, you've got your optimal flow rate, divide by 20, and then you divide that whole value by 2. And for the cobalt turbine, that comes out to 200 EU over T. But you got to throw efficiency in. And so you take your actual output is going to be the nominal output times your efficiency, but your efficiency has to be in percentage. So if you put your efficiency, I just typed the number 80 in. I have to divide that by 100. But if I type 0.8, then I wouldn't have to divide by 100. So just keep that in mind. So pretty simple. So that's all we got there. So that gives me 160 EU over T, which is, you might as well just use a frickin' medium voltage thing, maybe 2 medium voltage steam generators, and turn those guys loose. You're not really going to help yourself out. Right here, this thing, yeah, for less than 16,000 liters per second pulled in, you'd be making double the power. So as you can see, using the big turbine is a waste. Well, this thing only has a 75% efficiency too, though, so it's going to be a little bit less. Still, it's the small turbines. When it comes to these turbines, it's go big or go home. You really don't want to waste your time on the little ones. They're just not that good. But when you get up to regular turbine, the small ones, you only need magnesium. If you can't make titanium, you're stuck with the small ones. Maybe find better ways to generate power until you can get to this. I made mine out of cobalt, because cobalt's probably one of the best materials for the small turbine. But I've now decided I really don't want to use it, and I can't melt it down, and I can't deconstruct it. I'm stuck with it as far as I know. Unless there's some way to disassemble the damn thing, then I'm screwed. So that's that. Anyway, you'll need to be able to make titanium, so keep that in mind here. If you want to go even bigger, you got to be able to make tungsten steel or americium. What the hell is with that? Why would you want to take a radioactive element and use it as a frickin' turbine rod? Are they retarded? I don't know. I mean, I don't know why that wouldn't be like a high-speed steel or something. I don't know who thought that through. I mean, I guess they wanted something you had to use the fusion generator to make. I don't know. They wanted something that you had to be really high-tech to make. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that one. Until you get to that level, there's no point worrying about it. I can't make tungsten steel yet, so unfortunately for me, I'm gonna have to live with titanium. It's a pity, because this would be even better. So alright, titanium. Let's take a look at them. Damascus steel. Now I'm looking for ones that I think would be the best. So I'm going to go through all 88 of them here. So this will be a bit of a long no-nonsense video, but I think it'll be worth it if you want to see that. Damascus steel, look at the durability. It's nice and high. The turbine efficiency is at 95, and the flow rate's at 16,000. So I'm going to punch that into my calculator. 95% efficiency, I would get 380 EU over T and a very high durability. That's pretty nice. The problem, though, is how do I make this crap? Damascus steel dust. Can I just shape? Can I just craft this stuff? I haven't ever been able to find it anywhere except in in dungeons. If there's a way to make this crap, I would love to hear about it. You do have to melt it down in the furnace. It does take a long time. The heat capacity is fairly low, but I don't know how to make the dust. Shaped crafting doesn't really tell me how to do this. It says you have to start with Damascus steel dust to make it. So I don't know how to do that. So, alright. So anyway, there'll be some things that you just either can't make or you just have to get lucky and find a lot of it. But yeah, Damascus steel seems to be one of those things. It's in the game, but it's not something you can just make. Unless there's some way to make it. You can feel free to comment if you know how to make it. I mean, it's a good one though. You get a good amount of power for that. Tungsten carbide. Wow, that would be great. Unfortunately, it's outside of my ability to make right now. But you can see what's not to like with this. I'm gonna punch the numbers here. 28,000. Oops, 28. Shoot, on the wrong column. 20,000 at 115. You make 805 EU over T. You would need to now that's why it's important to have this calculator. You need to upgrade from the HV to the EV dynamo hatch. If you don't, you're going to blow shit up, and then you're going to be sorry. Alright, so that's why you want it. Steel isn't too, steel is cheap. That's what it's got going for it. It's only got a flow rate of 12,000 and an efficiency of 95. That's going to give you 285 EU over T. The durability isn't bad though. I mean, look at that. 102,400 durability. It's not bad. It's not terrible. Let's roll on though. Tin, not worth it. I'll just leave it at that. Your tin is better used elsewhere. Tungsten steel, very durable, very good power production. 115 at 16,000, 460 EU over T. You'll get away with an HV dynamo hatch. It'll last forever. Problem is, yeah, unless you can make that stuff, no thanks. It's also very expensive to make. So it is expensive, at least at the time in the game when you probably first get this thing. Platinum, why bother? It does have a high rate. The optimal steam flow rate is very nice. At 95% efficiency and 24,000 flow rate, you're 570 EU over T. It just won't last very long. There's better stuff. Let's keep plunging through. Silver, good flow rate. Terrible durability. Cheaper than platinum though, but still not something you're probably really going to want to use. Nickel, just use steel. Use steel. Don't waste your time with nickel. If you're going to go with that level, because it produces the same amount of power as steel at like a tenth of the durability. Screw that. Neodymium, no, I think we can pass on that one too. It doesn't produce it produces okay amounts of power. It does have good durability, but you're going to want to save your neodymium for other things. Osmium. Now, osmium will get you fantastic amounts of power. It's also something that's going to be very hard to come by early on. I could come by it now. I could make it out of osmium. But your osmium is going to be, it's so rare and it's so hard to get. No thanks. I mean, let's see what it would make though. Oh man. At 115 efficiency, 32,000 liters per second, 920 EU over T. You'd be swimming in power. Unfortunately, It's just too hard to get that stuff at this time. Oops, missed one. Nichrome. Next. Wrought iron. Next. Just turn it to steel, man. You'll get more efficiency out of it. Steel's cheap at this time. Neodymium. Yeah, again, same as the magnetic. Don't bother. Duranium, can't possibly make it at this time. Amazing production of energy, probably over 1,000 EU over T, but I can't really get there from here. Mithril, next. I mean, look at the flow rate though. It's great. The efficiency is great. It produces a ton of power. If you have some kind of way to farm mithril, you'll just have to make lots of these and you'll be replacing them often, but maybe in that case it'd be worth it. I don't know. Now here we go. Try it. HSS-G. This one's great. This is turbine grade metal because it'll last forever. Unfortunately, it's a little out of my reach right now, but it's a good choice if you've got it. Plutonium, why? Just why? Adamantium. Not bad, lasts forever. Might as well be fantasy metal. I can't make it right now. Titanium. It's not great. I mean, it had great durability, but the energy production rate isn't really that optimal. It really isn't. And you're better to save your titanium for other projects. Unless you're swimming in titanium and you've built all the if you're swimming in titanium, it might be something to consider. Otherwise, I'd give that a pass. Flux electrum. Oh, really? Oh my, that's tempting. Good durability. 105. 32,000. Flux electrum. I just have to cook it in the... You do need a high-end furnace to cook it in. Look at this. 32,000 at 105 efficiency. It's 840 EU over T. It does take a lot to cook that. Is expensive. And it does take a lot of your gold and silver too, because you're using electrum. But man, the power output of that is just stupid. I'm writing this one down. 840. And it's very expensive though. I mean, very expensive. But it is something that's within my capabilities where I'm at in the game right now. I just gotta decide, gee, I really want to do that. But it's on my list of ones to choose here. Epoxy resin, next. Aquita, no. And it's not something I can get anyway. Chrome is something I can get. Very good flow rate. Unfortunately, chrome is very hard to get. In fact, I think it's about as hard to get as osmium. Maybe a little. Well, it's a little easier to get. It's only slightly easier to get than osmium. Chrome is just not worth it right now. Sometime in the future, when I'm swimming up to my neck in chrome, well, by then I'll be able to make better metals anyway. So just pass on that one. Unless you really want to use it for some reason. Tungsten by itself, not so good. Better to make it into tungsten steel, which does take some effort, but it's probably worth going for the tungsten steel. This doesn't produce particularly huge. It doesn't produce smashing amounts of power either. Naquita, just no. That Naquita could produce much more power in an actual proper reactor. Invar. You have enough copper in that. It's not particularly good though. It's fairly low. It's just it's just kind of worthless. There are better metals. There's better metals or metal combinations to use. It does use well, nickel may not be super cheap, but I have found it's pretty plentiful in the game. So palladium, no. Palladium does last a long time though. It might be. It's a possible choice. If you have stupid amounts of palladium and nothing to do with it. And actually, I did have that problem in the last game. I had tons of palladium. Actually, maybe that's not too terrible. At 95 efficiency. That's 380 EU over T. Nothing to sneeze at if you got lots of it, and it lasts a long, long time. It's pretty hardy stuff. Uranium? No. Okay, let's keep going. We're gonna get through this. Magnesium? What? No. Inderium. It's, like I said, it's about not too terrible. Get you the same amount of power. Actually, it'll get you better power than the palladium would. It just doesn't last as long, but it's something to consider, maybe. Quadria, no. I mean, just no. Just absolutely no. Don't. That's just if you want to look like you're an idiot. Tritanium. Boy, I wish I had that. This looks like the best one I've seen so far. 40,000 at 135. Let's see what that does. You can always dream. 1,350 EU over T. You can always dream. That's for something to me to dream about at night. Okay, let's keep going. High-speed steel. That's beautiful right there. HSS-S. But I can't make it. Not right now. Gotta keep rolling. I don't have the tungsten, and it's too expensive at this time. Bronze, not particularly good. Moving on. Aluminium. Now, this is actually one I'm considering right now. Efficiency is only 95, but at 20,000 flow, I get 475 EU over T. The durability is not great, but aluminium is cheap. It is everywhere in this game. I mean, there's bauxite. I know of at least 3 or 4 bauxite mines now. Probably 4 or 5, more like. Also, aluminium comes out of, or aluminium comes out of all kinds of stuff. No problems. None. You're just no. You're not gonna have a problem. So, you'll be replacing them on a regular basis, but the amount of power they produce is actually not bad at all. So I'm gonna write this down. How much it produced? 475. That's pretty good, actually. U over T. That's reasonable. Brass. No. Black steel. Low energy production, but high durability. So, yeah, I kind of decided no myself. Stainless steel. For how much it costs to make stainless steel and everything you got to put into it, this doesn't seem to be worth it either. Especially with the amount of cook time for all that stuff. So no. Remember, you're going to need 48 ingots of whatever you're using here to make that, and that's just to make the turbine blade centers. You're going to need a little bit more for screws. So assume about 50 or so. 50. Yes, I think you're going to need 50. Because you're going to need enough screws to screw all that together as well. So you're going to need about 50 ingots. So, you know, that factors into your cost. Is it worth it or not? Ironwood, no. Pig iron, no. Carbon, hell no. Sterling silver. Now it lasts about as long. It's going to take tons of silver to make. If you have a lot, and you will get 5 dusts out of that, it's not a terrible idea. You'd use probably what, 10 silver? I don't know, to make 50 of that. You're making 5 at a time. Yeah, you do that 10 times. So 10 times 4, 40 silver, and 10 copper would get you 50. Wow. Now I gotta get us back to where we were. My apologies. I know, no nonsense video, but there's... let's get back to sterling silver. We're almost there. Oh, there it is. Now that one, 26,000 at 95. Let's see what I'll get. You'll actually have to upgrade to EV. Make sure you do that because it's going to produce about 617 EU over T. So that's pretty good. I mean, its durability, you're going to be replacing it somewhat often. You better have a good sturdy silver mine. But it's not terrible. I mean, silver's not particularly... It's somewhat plentiful enough, and especially if you turn on one of those big machines to go into a lead mine and pull it out, then you'll have tons of lead and silver then, and that's not bad at all. Desh would be awful. Yeah. Wow, stupid. I don't even know why they offered as an option. Just to play with you, I guess. Canthal, no. Let's keep rolling. Bismuth, no. There's gonna be a lot of no's here, I think. Dark steel. Now, if you can make this stuff, it's not terrible. In fact, it's even on my list of considers. So dark steel had high durability. 102,400. It's got 16,000 at 105. 420 EU over T. Nice. But it'll last a very, very, very long time. So it might be worth something to pursue. I have to look up how to make it. I think it is something that's craftable. Night metal. Night metal would be great if you know how to make it. And I don't. It would also make 420 EU over T, but at twice the durability of dark steel. So night metal's another one. I'll write that one down too. That's 204,800, making it 420. Alright, cool. So, iridium. High durability, but just not worth. Not worth the power levels are so low. Naquita, forget that too. It's got better uses. Black bronze. This is one that's another contender. 24,000 liters per second, 95% efficiency. Another EV one. Black bronze is not particularly hellacious to make. You get 570 EU over T. It lasts for 512. That one might actually be a winner. In fact, I'm very highly considering making it out of that, because that stuff is not hard to make. It does take a little bit of gold, I think, but oh yeah, AuAgCu3. That's not too bad. You're gonna make 10 of these. You're gonna make 50. You're gonna need 10 gold, 10 silver, and 30 copper. And there's your 10. And given how cheap copper is, and you're only using 10 bars of gold and silver, yeah, that sounds very worth it. I think that's a very good contender. Let's keep going. Osmiridium. High durability, but doesn't seem worth it. Just no. On that one there. Thorium, no. Much better uses with that. Beryllium, just whoa. Look at the flow rate, but you have to replace it so often, there's better options. So no. Astral silver. Again, there's better options. Nickel, zinc, ferrite, just never. That is just garbage. Never just crumble in there. Magnesium. Cheap, but probably not worth it. Vanadium steel. Garbage. Okay. Rose gold. Rose gold's another interesting metal. CuAu4. It takes a lot of gold though. You need 40 gold and 10 copper to make it. You do get a lot of energy production, but the durability, I don't think that's really worth it. I'll write down the amount of energy production, though. It's in my consider column. 28,000 at 95% efficiency is 665 EU over T. 665, how cute. Alright, almost got to 666 there. So if you want to make the devil's amount of energy, then there you go. Flux Electrum looks very nice, though, but it is kind of expensive to make. It's something I'm going to consider very much, though, but it is going to eat a load. 25 gold, 25 silver. And then I got to flux it. And then I got to cook it in the furnace. It's very expensive. But I get a vast amount of power out of it for, you know, for the technology level. It's low tech, it's just a chore to make. And you will be using up some of your valuable gold and silver. Gold by itself, but the durability is just too low. Gold by itself does a good amount of power, but yeah. Ultimate, well, it's fantasy metal as far as I know. It's nothing I can make right now. What was that last one? That was iron. Oh, regular old iron. Just make steel. You'll do better with steel. Is that molybdenum? Yeah, I mean, if you had a mine for it, maybe, but it's the amounts you're making aren't much. Steel leaf. Again, if it's something you can make, I don't know how to make it right now. So HSSE, not bad. You're probably better with HSS-S though. But yeah, this stuff has high endurance though. It'll last a long time. Plutonium, just no. Why? Graphene, no. Lead, no. You got better uses for your lead. Cobalt brass, interesting. Not enough for me to really consider it though. It's cheap to make, I guess. Well, you're going to be using some zinc though, and zinc's a little harder to come by. Save your zinc for better things. That's my take on that. Manganese. You have tons of manganese, but again, you're probably going to have better uses for it. Thalmium. Now, thalmium's worth looking into because you get, if you're really into magic, 24,000 at 105, you're going to make 630. I don't remember what kind of metal you use to make that, but you'll get 630 EU over T and 512 durability. That makes it one of the higher end. That makes it, and it should be relatively cheap. Iron and magic. That's it. So if you can marry iron and magic together, and you've got the good chemistry, the alchemy setup to do it, that's actually another possibility. I think I might do that before I would do fluxed electrum. Or rose gold for that matter. Rose gold's just too expensive. Thalmium though, I could probably make fairly cheap. I would just have to go over and, you know, do a lot more magic and get my magic levels up to a bit. It's worth doing though. Neutronium. Neutronium's the best I've seen here so far, and yeah, that's just, it's something I couldn't possibly make. And by that time, I'll be, you know, I'd be using it for plasma instead. Yeah, so forget neutronium. Electrum just doesn't have the durability to make it worth it. Blaze, no. Meteoric steel, save that for better uses. Red steel, fairly durable. Doesn't produce a smashing amount of power though. I'll skip on that. No on that one there. It's plastic. Bismuth bronze, no. Again, bismuth is extremely hard to come by. Even more so than osmium, in my opinion. So yeah, cobalt. Cobalt's decent. It'll get you a decent amount of power, but it just, again, it's something you kind of have to really mash around to get. You can get a lot of it out of copper, though. You can get a lot of it out of other things, but it's just, I think there's just better options I've already listed down here. And I should save my cobalt for better uses. I wish I had on the first one, but it was a small one, so I didn't really waste that much metal. I wasted, what, maybe 25 cobalt. You know, kill me. Blue steel. Blue steel, not particularly hard to make. It's got some cost associated with it, and for the amount of steam you get, the durability is very high. That's one thing to consider. It does have a very high durability. In fact, other than night metal, it's the highest on the list. But the amount of energy you're going to make is not so much. Probably not worth it. I don't think I'm going to put that on my list. Uranium, 235, just no. Fiery steel. You know how to make that crap. It's not terrible. And magnetic steel. It'll produce a nominal amount of power. Magnetic steel, about the same as normal steel. Okay, that's all your turbine materials and what you're going to get out of them. And I've also explained in here how to calculate them. Just get a spreadsheet application. If you don't have Microsoft Excel, use Libre Office. In fact, that's what I'm using here. Libre Office works just as well, and it's free. Or there's probably other free. There's other open source and free spreadsheets out there. Google probably has one just on the web. Office 365, I think it has a free edition that lets you do simple things. I may be wrong. I thought they used to have something like that, but there's options out there for spreadsheets. Just go out there and find one, and you can calculate this stuff. That's all I've got. Thank you for watching.